try to get into the early days of Marley and the struggles, and like, you know, you have that history about the early days. And
well, the early days of Marley was Bob Marley and Bob Marley and the Wailers, before they became the Wailers, was 10 years of piracy of his work, well, with Trojan Records. Passing off as Island Records and whatever, but Trojan Records was co-owned by Island Records.
You probably had a lot of things that the public, we never get a chance to see. So tell us about your documentary or your film on Legend. Tell us about it.
37 years ago in Jamaica, when I tried to make a film about where their music came from. All that footage was lost for 37 years, and finally found by Channel 4 from England and returned to me. 96-minute documentary I've made, which is very much a personal portrait of my work with him during those years, over 3 to 4 years. I've launched his career with Catch a Fire and Burning album, and later the Kaya album. All the promotion stuff that actually I'm marrying the reggae and Rastafarian culture and bringing the colors and all of that.
Talk right here in studio with Miss Esther Anderson, the legend, the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley, and we're talking about, she's telling us all about the documentary. Is it a documentary or is it a film?
It's a musical documentary. 96 minutes. It's not the life story of Bob Marley. It's just about those 3 years that I worked with him to actually bring him to the world, which is from 73 to 76.
Okay, and from 76, yeah, a whole another thing happened. So we're dealing from 1973 to 1976, working with Bob Marley. And how soon that documentary will be available?
That documentary is available now on DVD. It's already been on iTunes. It went viral when it was launched. When Usain Bolt won, and all our Jamaican brothers won the 1, 2, 3 in the Olympics in London in August. It was launched then, and now this is the DVD launch, and we're now here in America because of Black History Month. The film was going to be shown, and it's out on, going to be on selected cinemas throughout America, where people will just go, you film on demand, they go to the cinema, they demand the film, and it will be shown.
All right. So give us some information, people listening, and they would like to get to see it or know about it or read up on it. Give us whatever contact you have.
The contact is at www.bobmarleythemakingonthelegend.com is the website. And it can be the DVD, the soundtrack. The soundtrack is on iTunes, can be downloaded, it can be viewed, it can be rented, it can be bought from either the website or on Distrophy or Amazon, eBay, all of the different platforms. But it's easier because it's signed a limited edition that is coming from the website, and it's like because the first pressing is like 1,000 copies, so they're a collector's item for people who really love Bob Marley and want to collect his work over the period of time, because it shows a young Bob Marley, and nobody had ever seen him young and being natural with his fellow musicians like Peter Tosh, really reasoning about everything, including their cars.
So from 73 to 76, Esther Anderson knew him well, worked with him, get him all started. From here, you go back to London?
I go to Jamaica, because hopefully we're going to have some, there's this embedded screening for the film there again, although we did win the UNESCO Honours Award from the Jamaica Reggae Film Festival. And we won about 4 or 5 other awards because the film has been to about 37 film festivals. I go to Jamaica and then I come back here, and I'm going to be here for Black History Month. Be part of the experience that is celebrating Bob's life.
The life and time of the legend, the master, Rasta Blaster, Honorable Robert Nesta Marley. That's so good that just to meet you in person, you know, because I heard a lot, and Debbie here told me very interesting documentary, so we want to. You wrote some songs with them too.
Yeah, I wrote Get Up, Stand Up, I Shot the Sheriff, We started out at Helsher with Countryman.
What kind of guy was Marley? I mean, we hear so many stories and everything, but it seems to me he was a guy down to earth and always with the people, you know?
Yeah. He was very, when I met him, I thought he was like, I thought he was like a 17-year-old, but he was 26, and he was already a father. I didn't know all of this, but he seemed so young and so innocent. And like,
but he seems he likes the ladies a lot, right?
Well, I tell you, I never knew of the experience of him going after any ladies.
Oh, okay,
it was always them coming for him.
Oh, okay, excuse me.
And you know, that's what happens in the music business. You know, if you're a rock star, because I grew up with the Beatles and the Stones and everything, and I saw everything what the music business evolved to become. Is if you're a rock star, many girls are going to fall in love with you.
Right. I want to tell you, going back to Marley, right? I was reading up on Marley. They say at the London Lyceum Theatre, when Bob Marley went on stage, Eric Clapton, the Beatles, and all of them, they were backstage to see Bob Marley perform. Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones. I mean, they were all, you know, Mick Jagger. They were all backstage. They were amazed with Bob Marley, and that was his very first concert. Sold out, Lyceum, London Lyceum. I mean, people went crazy. There was a phenomenon about Bob Marley. You were there for that?
Yeah, but the thing is that I introduced Bob Marley to Mick Jagger when they just came over to do Catch a Fire tour.
Wow.
And Mick was very nice to Bob and invited him to come to the house, you know, for tea and stuff. And Bob Marley refused to go. I don't want to mix up with that people because you know what kind of drugs we can get. So it's so funny that as he achieved more fame, he was more open to all those people. But at the very beginning, he was very suspicious. I couldn't even hug up my friends in London and say hello. Boy, see, you know, what a woman I'll kiss you for and things like that. You know? You know, that's any of that. You know, that you could just have affection with one of the people and so. So no, and it was great that. But at the very beginning, the first tour that they did, Mick Jagger and Bianca came to the Speakeasy and supported us. Because I asked them to, and they were there long before Eric Clapton. All those people came into his life. Okay?
Bob Marley, what a legend.
Very idealistic to think that you can, some sort of one musician can tell the whole of Africa to unite.
Unite. Africa, unite.
Yeah, when you know, Africa is a tribal country with many tribes. Just look what's going on in the Congo, you know, and today, you know, where you have the Tutsi and the Butsi and whatever, and they go on killing one another. And you wonder, how is this possible? Because they're all the same color.
Right.
But it's tribal. And until people overcome all this tribalism and nationalism and become just one. One of the great songs we have on our soundtrack is from an African musician called Francis Jockey, who's here in America. Here in the United States, they say, one world, one love. We only have one world, one love, one heart. And it's just a beautiful song, and it's a beautiful sentiment that is what Bob really is trying to say to the world. But you know, it's very idealistic to think that you can keep on about Africa, unite Africa. I mean, who are we to dictate to African people until they all realize that tribalism is not going to get them anywhere, and that unite as a people and see how the outside world look at them, then, you know.
Well, he's definitely, in my opinion, a prophet, a man who was way ahead of his time. And when we see what's happening today, you know, in our world, his music is still so evident. When we talk about One Love, a song that Time magazine in the last century named the Song of the Century. His legacy will live on and on and on. He definitely was a prophet, a messenger, in my opinion.
And the album Burning is in a capsule in the Metropolitan Museum, and that capsule will be opening in 3,000.
Wow!
And his work and my work and you know, and Peter and everybody else that contributed to that album will be there.
Well, great work. Ms. Anderson, just before you go, if you're just joining us, you're on 87.7 FM, WeRadioOnline.com, and people all around the world listening, Pepper Pot Radio in Canada, wherever you are. We're talking to Ms. Esther Anderson, who did a documentary, actually the legend on the life of Bob Marley from 1973 to 1976, and I'm looking forward to see this. One last question, just before we wrap up on Marley. I was told that Prince Charles, you know, was down, and I had to ask you that, but we got so much into it, in Zimbabwe at that time, and he was asking Bob Marley, that's Prince Charles from London, England,
yeah.
asking Bob Marley, that's Princess Diana, then her husband, and but that's prior to all that, and asking Bob Marley to come visit him, to come, you know, Bob Marley was down there, so he invite Bob Marley to come see him, and Bob said, me don't go see him, he come see me. Is that
I wasn't there, so I can't answer that.
Yeah.
But that sounds very much like Bob.
Yeah.